Yo, what it do, and welcome back to another episode of KVTv Season 2. Yes, sir. Let me stop. I was just playing. Oh, man, I hope everybody's doing well on today, man. It's been a long week, bro. I'm trying to tell you. Like a long weekend. And I just didn't honestly have time to post over the weekend. And that's why I'm posting it right now. But yeah. But I'm not mad that I'm posting it right now, because for a lot of you guys who don't know, today is September 1st, and that's actually the day that I posted my first impression. I did my first impression on August 31st, but I posted it on Instagram on a year from today. So today's a good day. I ain't gonna lie, today's a really good day. This is a really good day to do it. Yeah. Whatever. But I just wanted to say that. And today we are going to be talking about what is love. Again, part 3. Now the first 2 are in season 1, where I talked about me just being single. And then I just talked about, getting relationships for the right reason. Hold on real quick. Do y'all hear my stomach? Oh my God, my stomach is over here growling. I need to eat. But that'll be after this episode. But that's neither here nor there. We are going to not waste any more time. We are going to go straight into the video. Let's do it. What is love? Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not boastful. Love holds no record. I don't know the whole verse, but I'm just saying everything that I can remember. But God is love, y'all. If y'all don't know this, man, God is love. And what I'm learning is, if you don't love God, then you can't love anybody else. And if you don't know God, you don't know love. You have an idea of it. That's the one thing I've learned, man. You have to love God before you love anyone else. And then you have to love yourself before you love anyone else. Because if you don't love yourself, you are incapable of loving anybody else, man. It's just how life is. I never understand how somebody can really try to give love to somebody and they don't even love themselves. Like, it was one point in time that I really did not like myself at all. Believe it or not, I did not like myself. I didn't like nothing that I didn't like the way I talk. I didn't even like my own name at one point. I didn't even like my own name at one point. And I just didn't like myself. I felt like I was ugly. I did. Y'all think I'm playing. I'm so serious. I thought I was ugly. I just think I was ugly. I didn't love myself at all. Honestly, it wasn't until maybe I turned 21, maybe 21 or 22, where I really started to love myself. And even then, I still had my flaws, like where I just didn't like myself. And to this day, there's still certain things I don't like about myself that I'm working on. But all in all, I love myself as a whole. I love myself completely. I love God. I love God more now than I have ever before, because I really appreciate what He has made within me. And that's what we have to understand. God, like, the Bible says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. God did exactly what He wanted to you. He knew what He was doing. So when you say that you don't like different certain parts about yourself and stuff like that, you saying you don't like what God created. Now, I do believe that there are some traits that we develop that aren't from God, like toxic traits and whatever. But that's the stuff that we need to work on, and then that we make sure we don't do or portray. And it's important that we learn about ourselves and how to love ourselves before we get into relationships with other people. And so now that we're talking about other people, let me say this. Like, when you get in relationships, I've said this many times before, make sure that you are getting into relationships for the right reasons. And I'm starting to understand this now. Do not be so quick to say, I love this person. Don't be so quick to say that. Like, love is a strong word, And what I'm also learning is that everybody has their own definition of love. Like, because literally love is what you grew, how, the way you show love is the way that you grew up. So, for instance, my parents, for example, I think they're some of the best parents in the world. They really are. Shout out to both of you if you end up watching this video. The way they just took care of me, like as any parent should, and the way they showed love, just like, you know, just love and care, just the certain things they will always do. Especially my mother. She's probably one of the best mothers on this planet. On this planet, Mom, I love you so much. If you watch this video, I just want to let you know I love you so much. You're one of the best mothers on this planet, yo. The love she shows, the love that she has showed me, that's how I want to show love. And what I learned is that not everybody has had the luxury of being loved like that by their parents. That's where it starts, honestly. Your first steps, is who you're around. That's where you learn love from. Like how they treat you, and the way you get treated like by your close family members, that ends up showing when you are in your relationships with other people. So, for instance, you might be with somebody who is used to being shown love in a certain type of way, because everybody has a different love language. So your definition of love, you think, is just like, you know, let me think, just quality time. Exactly. Not necessarily, you know, like affection or words of affirmation or gifts. Like that, yours is just quality time. Like, some people are touchy, some people like to touch, some people don't. Some people like to kiss, some people don't. Well, let me say that real quick. If you're in a relationship and you tell me you don't like to kiss, that's a deal breaker. I don't understand people who say they don't like to kiss. That right there will break the deal for me. If you tell me that you don't like to kiss, I'm gonna be like, what? Like, I've never understood that at all, yo. Like, people who will literally say, I don't like to kiss. What? And you know what really baffles me about that? The people who say that, and then you don't like to kiss, but you okay with having unprotected sex. Make it make sense, please. I don't understand how you don't like to kiss, but you like to have unprotected sex. I don't understand. Now that I'm talking about sex, I will say this. You should not be having sex outside of marriage. You should not. And I failed in that. I failed in that aspect because I had sex before marriage. And God has forgiven me for that. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I grew up with the mentality that I did not want to wait till marriage. And the reason why is because, well, look around you. It seems like it's like the end times, right? That was my whole thing. I was always like, you know, I don't feel like I'm going to have enough time. I don't feel like there'll ever become a time where I will get married and will be able to, you know, woo woo, bang bang, you know? Like, that's just being honest. Like, that was my mentality. But I have to trust God. But I had to learn to trust God with that. You know what I'm saying? And what I found was, you know, in that, you know, me having sex outside of marriage, and honestly, it was with like somebody I didn't even have that connection to. I found myself, you know, just that's who I gave it to, and then I didn't even have a connection with them. And now I'm looking sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, for one, yeah, you should not be having sex outside of marriage because of like just how powerful sex is. Like, cause you create a soul tie with you and that person. Like, spiritual soul ties are something serious, yo. You have to be very careful with those, man. You really have to. That's why it's very important not to have sex outside of marriage, man. Cause you'll end up having a soul tie with somebody that you say that you want to be with, but it ends up not even being who you want to be with. And you shouldn't even have sex outside of marriage because it's a sin. I'm really talking to my young Christians here. If you're not a Christian, you don't follow Christ, I mean, you should apply this to your life. But if you don't want to apply this to your life, that's on you. I still love you. But to my young Christians, do not have sex outside of marriage. At the end of the day, it is not worth it. It is not worth it, yo. It's not worth it having unprotected sex and then you might have, like, end up having a child. That's more responsibility for you. You understand what I'm saying? And really be careful who you have sex with, man. Wait, I'm sorry, I did not mean to say that. I meant to say, please be careful who you get a relationship with. That's what happens when you try to read your notes at the same time. Oh man, oh man. But yeah, guys, I'll come back to that in a minute. Man, I'm so stupid. But it's all good. Hey, mistakes happen in videos. I'm gonna keep this in there. I don't care. But hey, now, I got one question for you guys. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? I know what you're really ready for is some more bloopers, but hey, whatever. Let's do it. So one celebrity I've been really trying to get down is Denzel Washington. I don't know, I just always felt like his voice was so hard. Like, I could never get it down for some reason. And honestly, I never really tried. But like this go around, I actually really tried to do it. And I felt like I did okay. Like, I'm not sure if anybody's seen, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen Remember the Titans. And this is just a little, not even a skit or a marathon, it's just me talking in front of the camera real quick because I wanted to see how I sounded. And came out pretty decent. Yeah, okay. Okay. Hey, Bertil, who's your daddy, huh? Who's your daddy? Boy, answer me when I'm talking to you. Who's your daddy, huh? You see your mama over there? That's your mama. Take a good look at her. Well, you get on the road, you won't have a daddy. You don't have a mama no more. You have a daddy. Now, who's your daddy? That's right, I'm your daddy. Now, go on the bus, Bertil. Go on. That's just me. I personally think I sound like him. I don't care if you do or not. I personally thought it was pretty decent. Yeah, let's move on. Well, like I mentioned before, today makes a whole year since I made my first impressions. And I felt like it wouldn't be right if I didn't do my first impression, Optimus Prime. So I decided to do another monologue. And yeah. Earth, birthplace of the human race, is in the middle of a pandemic. And during this pandemic, it has put planet Earth in a state of war. But, like most wars, there are calms between storms. There will be days where we lose faith. Days where our allies turn against us. But there will never be a day where the Autobots will forsake planet Earth or its people. For, like us, there is more to them than meets the eye. I am Optimus Prime, and I'm sending this message to Megatron and COVID-19. Leave planet Earth alone, or I'm coming for you.
Moment of honesty, someone's gotta take the lead tonight. Who's it gonna be? I'm gonna stay right here and tell you when it comes to me. If you have something to say, you should say it right now. You should say it right now. You ready? You give me a feeling that I never felt before.
citizens of Gotham City. It's bad. Well, it doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan. And our plan is to kill the Batman. You see, Batman thinks Gotham is his ally. He protects the people. But I have given the trigger to one of you, the people. And the identity of the trigger man is a mystery. If Batman does not take off his mask, Gotham will be destroyed. Now's not the time to panic. That comes later.
So before I get into this last video, I really want to just submit this to everyone. There is nothing wrong with being single. Literally, there's nothing wrong with being single. Honestly, this is how I feel. You should be in a relationship with yourself before you get into a relationship with anybody else. Does that make sense? Like, you really have to treat yourself as you would somebody else in a relationship. You really have to tend to your needs, what you want, and treat yourself out sometimes. Go out and learn to love yourself. Sometimes look in the mirror and look at yourself and say, hey, I love you. You are incredible. And motivate yourself, affirm yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. I have to do it all the time. You think I like to come up here sometimes and I'm always happy? No, sometimes I have to encourage myself. Sometimes I have to encourage myself, hey, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. God created you just at the way he wanted you to be. You are unapologetically yourself and continue to be that way. If anybody doesn't love you, I love you. You have to say that to yourself sometimes. There's nothing wrong with self-love. As a matter of fact, it needs to be more normalized. And people need to normalize self-love. We're always looking to somebody else to love us, and then we are looking for somebody to love us who is sometimes incapable of loving themselves. And it's like a big cycle that goes around. We get in these relationships with people who don't necessarily love themselves or know how to love. We gotta stop doing that. And I forgot to mention this earlier, and I'm just gonna say it's simple. I don't encourage anybody to shack up who's in a relationship, because honestly, the reason why is because, let's say you guys break up. You guys are in a toxic situation because let's say one of you doesn't have enough money to be on your own. You're staying there with the person that you don't want to be with anymore, and you just you're pretty sure that you guys are probably eyeballing each other with the mean eyes, or just walking past each other like y'all don't know each other. And it's just a toxic situation. It just becomes a toxic situation, and now you're stuck until something happens. And that's something I don't encourage. I don't encourage any of my young Christians to do it. I don't encourage any young kids who's watching this to do it. Anybody. Don't do it. I've never done it, but I know people who have, and I don't suggest it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I had the mindset of wanting to do it at one point. And what I learned is you can put yourself in a very bad situation by doing that. Because not everybody that you say that you want to be with is probably going to be the one for you. And that's the other thing I forgot to mention while I'm here. Fellas, every woman that you're attracted to is not for you. So you do not have to go after them. You don't have to have sex with them or try to have sex with them or whatever. Especially if you ain't looking to get into a relationship with them. Stop wasting their time. You know what I'm saying? And ladies, you thought you was out the clear. Nah, I'm talking to you too. If all you want is a dude with some money and don't care about what he does for you, like mentally and emotionally and spiritually, but all you care about is like gifts and all this other type of stuff, and you feel like you just gonna treat him any type of way after that, what in the world is wrong with you? Sweetheart, there's some really good dudes out here, and y'all out here giving y'all time to these knuckleheads. That's what I call them. I call them knuckleheads. Can y'all do better? Y'all want a good man. Sweetheart, we want a good woman. And we don't want a woman who has an OnlyFans account. I said it. I don't care. I don't want a woman who has an OnlyFans account, who got her, like, you know what I'm talking about, just naked all over. And I don't care if it's private and you getting paid for it. Sweetheart, that's prostitution. No. I ain't knocking your hustle, but if you looking for a good man, no. You don't want that. We got to really do better about how we respect ourselves and how we respect other people. Because when you don't even respect yourself and love yourself, you let anybody and everybody do you any type of way in a relationship. I'm telling you, some of you women who say y'all like hood niggas and type of stuff like that, I fear for y'all. Because y'all be telling, so basically what you telling me is you want a nigga to knock you upside the head. That's what you're telling me. Instead of having a dude that's really gonna care for you. They always say that nice guys finish last. Well, I guess I'll get the last good one on the block. I'm cool with that. I'm definitely cool with getting them. I'm definitely cool with finishing last if I get me a gem. I will definitely wait for the right one to come. Because I'm gonna say this last thing and I'm gonna just get out of here. There was a time where I did not know how to wait for a relationship. And now I'm in a place where it's just like, God, I don't want nobody if you ain't send them. Make sure that and I want to make sure that you sent them. Make sure it's just from you. Because let me just say this, every blessing that you get, that you call a blessing, is not from God. Every blessing that you think you got is not from God. Every person that comes in your life is not from God. I just want to just mention that, because it's very easy to think that because things are going good and stuff like that, that it's from God. And that's not just in relationships. That can also be with jobs and stuff. You really have to seek God and make sure, God, is this what you want for me? And if it is, trust me, everything will play out. That's what I'm learning. Everything will play out if it's what God wants for you. Really learning that. But, and it's really teaching me patience. And I'm telling you, man, yeah, God is amazing. Let me just say that. God is amazing. He's love. God is love. Learn to love him before you love anybody else. And when you have God in the middle of your relationship, everything else will be okay. That's with yourself and anybody else. But you both have to have a God in your relationship. Now, I ain't gonna talk too much longer. I know I talked a lot. But at the end of the day, I love you guys. Come on. And I'm gonna show you this last video. Let's do it. So, you know what type of people I think are very underrated? Not celebrities, not movie characters, not cartoon characters, but the narrators. Oh my God, I love me a good narrator. Oh my goodness, like I love me some, like the ones that really like set the scene, and like the trailers and stuff. Y'all know what I'm talking about, like them with the voices and stuff. Yo, and that's what this is. Like honestly, some of these shows wouldn't be nothing without these narrators.
Sugar, spice, and everything nice. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect little girls. But Professor Utonium accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction, Chemical X. Thus, the Powerpuff Girls were born. Using their ultra superpowers, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup have dedicated their lives to fighting crime and the forces of evil. Ah, Bikini Bottom. So fascinating. Teeming with life, one of my favorite creatures, SpongeBob SquarePants. Ah, Goo Lagoon. A sticky mud puddle for you and me. but for Bikini Bottom, a sticky mud button. Ah, the Krusty Krab, home of the Krabby Patties, and its top secret formula, the Krabby Patty formula.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z, he received an unexpected visit from his most deadly foes, Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu. With the Earth in danger, it is now up to the Saiyan warriors, Goku and Vegeta, to defeat these villains, because everyone else is too weak. Will Goku and Vegeta be able to beat these villains? Or will Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu take over the Earth? Find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. Well, that's the end of today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed making it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'm not putting this on Instagram, so follow me on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. I'm always messing up. KV McKinley, KV42. Follow me on Snapchat. Get out. Yo, I'm messing up so bad. Hey, before I get out of here, I just want to ask y'all this question, alright? Who's your daddy? Huh? Who's your daddy? Okay, I just want to make sure you know who your daddy is, right? I'm your daddy, right? That's right, I'm your daddy. Go and get out of here. See you next episode. Okay. Yeah, that's right, I'm your daddy, huh? I'm your daddy.